Today is July 9th, 2025. We had a local fishing guide that was gracious enough to bring us down the Klamath River, Al Kutsky. So we got in at the Iron Gate boat launch and we're making our way down to the Klamathon bridge.
Big sign up there that says fishing from here down. Start fishing right here. It's called Tim's Pocket. My dad used to love to catch salmon right here.
What was it called?
Tim's Pocket.
Tim's Pocket.
It's only about 4 or 5 feet deep, but the salmon just love to sit behind that rock.
Huh.
In that back eddy. I can't believe there's no bugs. I really can't.
No.
You normally see the rainbows jumping, splashing on the edges there, picking bugs.
The only place I've really seen bugs when I come here is like up above the river.
Above. See, everything down below Iron Gate, when they flushed that, that's where the water went to zero oxygen.
Yeah.
From Iron Gate down, when they did that drop.
Do you know how long of a stretch that zero oxygen lasted for?
I don't know how far it went down. I would say it went through all the way down. Truthfully, big slug of it. Yeah. The speed of the river, whatever it was.
Sure.
What does it actually mean when they say zero oxygen?
It means there's no oxygen. Oxygen just absorbs into the water, and the turbidity keeps going into it more. And when you've got too much material in it, sediment, so the oxygen just couldn't absorb it all.
Oh, I see.
I mean, so nothing
That's
could.
where all life is.
Yeah. See, this is the first hole here. We call this the first hole because it's the first big spot to stop. I got pictures over here. This is all new. This bar here. This used to be all a big deep hole on this side here. I pulled over here and just anchor up and land sand here, left and right.
So how deep did this used to be, you said?
I'm getting sand at about 3 feet right there. And it used to be about 7, 8 on the edge here. It was closer to 10.
Okay.
And now it's filled in. This is all filling over here. Right now you can't. This old dock here. Jerry Lewis built that. People who built the house here was a client of ours, so he built the house to come fish with us. See, this is all right here. I got pictures on my camera I can show you right now. I used to be able to go butt up right against with the boats. We pick up clients right there. We could roll right into that.
Huh.
And I don't think we'd get close to it now without having boots on them. Really.
Yeah.
So they built the house here so they could fish with you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he passed away a couple of years ago and we put that plaque up there.
Oh. Do you see the plaque, Jared?
Yeah. Passed away in 21. Yeah, this used to be about 3 feet deep right here. Now it's all just mud and silt.
Yeah. I mean, you can see as soon as you disturb it how muddy and it gets.
And normally, like I was talking about bugs, all on this, I don't know if I can see it, on this cement wall here, you'd have what's called the husks of the salmon fly and stoneflies. They're a water bug that crawls out. They're about that long with 6 legs, ugly looking little things. But they'd crawl up there and they'd hatch out and fly away. So they'd clamp on and they'd always stick right to them. I don't see any. There would be hundreds of them.
Yeah.
On here, on the tree and on the cement. I don't see any.
No, I don't see one yet.
Which is kind of sad. I have to go through my old pictures and see if I have pictures of the stuff like that have they would be all over.
Probably something you wouldn't have taken a picture of.
It wasn't. Yeah, it's nothing that was great. I've taken pictures of the salmon flies.
They would just be in the background of a picture. Probably.
Yeah.
Took life for granted. Life in the river.
Yeah. So Al, how common was it? I know that's kind of like over on that bench is where the high flow comes through. Does it normally bench around here or just during high flow does it come in on this?
Just high flow.
It's kind of what I thought, but I wasn't sure how much sediment has come through here.
Yeah.
See the horses here? Are those the
They're supposed to be the wild horses, yeah, but a lot of them came from the fire that the people just let go.
people turn their horses out and then they become wild horses?
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't have to.
They wonder why they're so tame.
Are
right.
Disagree.
So I'm gonna pause this video for now and we'll consume down the river. So just so you guys can see,
Right there, you can't even see the bottom.
no. And so how far down were we? About not that far.
About 18 inches right there.
Huh.
Would you normally expect this to be this time of year a little bit deeper, right?
No, this is about, right here is normal. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, it's about 6 or 7 months. So, you know, they'd spawn in like October, November. Yeah, then it's supposed to be late part of spring or winter. Of course, that's lightning that goes out of the mud.
So I have a question for you. I've been kind of smelling the smell as we go down. Is that normal? Like the smell that we're smelling now? Is that normal? Okay.
This is kind of normal smell. You're not getting that stinking smell one that bad.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it has its own unique smell. Yeah, it's because probably because of lakes and the algae and stuff. But that was just, I mean, I grew up with it. I like it.
I know, and then you're at the river.
Yeah. And it's actually more strong. This is called the cable hole.
What part?
Cable hole. This is the cable hole. There used to be a cable bridge across here.
Okay. Oh, probably right here.
That's the power, but no, they took the cable out because some dummies sunk their boat on it a couple times. Because the water gets up high, if you hit it sideways, it'll turn you over.
And how deep did you say this was?
Right back up here in the corner, good salmon spot. It's about 10, 12 feet.
Okay.
And right here, this last year, this was all mud here. So now with the higher water, it did wash it out, so you could get closer. So it's not as bad right here.
So I can already start to see algae. Like, so you know this river obviously well. How often, like when is a typical time you'd start to see like the algae start forming?
Well, you're talking algae is the moss.
Yeah.
The moss. It's
Yeah.
always in the springtime this time. Normally it'd be more right now.
Okay.
I mean, this is usually just a moss is just, the whole thing's just full of it. I go through here and I get ore down in it and I get ore stuff because it's moss. It's so
Okay. Yeah, I think you and I call it the same thing. We call it moss. Everybody else calls it algae.
thick. Algae, it's not algae. Algae is the stuff that's in the lakes and the little plankton things.
Okay, yeah. We have an ongoing debate over what is algae and what is moss.
Yes.
I'm going to go with you guys.
Moss is stuff that grows off the bottom. That's what it is.
Okay, and the algae is on the top.
Well, it's in the whole water system. It's a plankton or a type thing. It's small, microscopic almost.
But it does become visible.
Yeah, because it gets so many of them. You know, just so many of them.
And the color of it is normally what?
Green. But then they have those blooms where they get a blue or red. So
Al,
there
tell us how the removal of dam has kind of impacted your life. What's your history here?
I was born and raised on this river. I mean, I don't remember everything but the river and fishing it. You know, my grandfather was a guide. My dad was a guide, so I was out here when I was like 3, 4 years old doing it, and I started rowing a boat when I was 12 or 13, and took my first guide trips when I was about 15. People would drive me around with their car because I had no driver's license. So we put the boat in, use there, and I'd row them down and fish and do that. So I basically did it for over 45 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right here on this river, right here. So yeah, you know, Grandpa passed away when he was only 65, and so we took over the lodge. My dad did, and went for quite a while till it was right in those periods in the late 80s and early 90s where the salmon run was way low, and we lost a lot of business, and so we sold the lodge, the building. So someone bought it. They refurbished it and redid it and all, and then back in, I don't know, 2000s, my little brother bought it back. So now it's back in the family. So that lodge, we put up 16 to 18 people, and we got really busy during the fall, which was like September, October, November, December. It was a salmon, and then the fall run of steelhead. Then we fish winter steelhead all winter. So it was pretty busy at times. We had 6 to 8 boats a day going out of there. So A lot of the guides that started around this area started with us on the lodge there.
Huh. Quite a history.
Yeah, like Jesperson's, Denardi, you know,
Yeah.
those kind of people we're all getting old now.
And what's it been like? What's it been, a couple of years since they?
A year and a half.
I have that.
So
Problem is I haven't even fished hardly. It's just destroyed my business. I mean, I haven't fished the river, actually fished the river since last August. And then they start pushing all that mud in Ginny Creek, and it just muddied the whole river clear to the ocean. Because I was fishing only about 10 miles from the ocean, where the salmon first come in, and that's where we fished down the early part of it, just meeting the fish coming in, and it muddied it all the way through.
Yeah.
There was absolutely zero visibility.
Yeah.
And I understand there's like a 3 or 4 year cycle for return for the salmon. So
Exactly. That's
What
so.
do you think the next couple of years is going to bring?
The way I see it, we're basically going to be in a second year, so we're going to have maybe this year fall run. It will be from the hatchery, so we should have an okay run. We'll see. Depends what happens in the ocean, and then maybe next year we'll do okay because that's the 4th year. After that, I'm not sure what's going to happen because we didn't release as many fish. They killed basically all the smolt that were going out with all that dump of the water, dropping that 0 oxygen content for those 2 days or so. And so you might kill the whole small fish going out. So I don't see after the 2 years we're going to see hardly any fish. Something else to see right here, right now, that you're not seeing rainbows jump. We had a great native population of rainbows in here, and you're not seeing. I think there's times when the salmon fly hatch was going, there'd be salmon flies all over here. We'd be fly fishing. We catch 50 to 100 fish a day.
And that's something that they don't talk about, where there's so much focus on the salmon. They're not really focusing on the other species of fish that were here.
Oh yeah, no, they had a great the steelhead river was, back in the 60s and 70s, this river was known as the steelhead capital of the world. I still have stuff about it, from my grandfather, bumper stickers and stuff like that. It was steelhead capital of the world, come to the Klamath River, so.
Yeah.
And now, we still was pretty good steelhead seasons, but then the dam, I haven't fished them for 2 years, so I'm not sure. Now this is called King Louis Hole.
King Louis Hole?
Yeah. Most of these holes, I was just going to say, I'm not sure why it's called that. My grandfather named most of these places. He was the first fishing guide here, and he had the lodge, so. There's another one I can tell you, it's kind of like, maybe I have to block it out. Start fishing here. That's called Blackberry Point right there. And you watch salmon just roll out here, just everywhere, just splashing everywhere. Because they're kind of staging, just holding, ready. They're going to spawn at the bottom in there. So they're just holding, ready to spawn.
So that would be around
October. Yeah, October is right when we're at the main part of the season up here. They start in August. It takes them over a month to get up here.
okay. They enter at the mouth of the Klamath.
Yeah, they enter around basically around 1st of September they get good and thick, and then you watch the progression come up. And then we'd watch up here. I'd come up there after fishing down there. I'd come up here and see if I see a salmon or 2 roll. I'd go out and start fishing. As long as I saw 1 or 2 roll, I knew that they were going to be there. And usually the way it worked, up that first hole we started, you start catching fish there because they come up here, they stop behind the dam or the hatchery, and they sit and they start. So that hole fill up fish first, the next hole fill up, and they just progressively get more and more fish on each hole as you go down.
Huh.
So the first part of the season we'd fish just these couple, 2, 3, 4 holes and pull out the fish up down there.
Okay.
And then later in the season, a couple weeks after that, we start pulling out the bridge because we catch fish all the way through. So you just got to just work these holes harder. But you're catching 15, 20, 30 fish a day.
Yeah.
Salmon. Just catch and release, a lot of fish.
Huh.
Not a fish stack, not a bird, hardly. It's
Yeah. I hear maybe a few blackbirds up in the trees.
up in the trees, yeah, but there's usually bugs flying around here.
You got a break, you can grab some. I said you got a break, you can grab some.
No, I'm good, thank you. Not that I can not eat roe, but
Thank you.
done that a lot.
So is this kind of like the beginning of the Blue Heron RV park?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The actual property starts way at the top up here.
Okay. I kind of thought so, seeing the buildings here.
Yeah, and you can see, it's called Blue Heron because of that big pine tree.
Uh-huh.
It's right there. It's almost dead now, and that's where the blue herons nested.
Oh.
And they actually killed. The tree used to be a lot bigger. It used to be the double post out there. It used to be big and thick, but the blue herons nest in it, and it pooped so much, the acid killed the tree mostly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there used to be about 20, 30 nests in that tree.
Wow.
That's why it's called the blue heron.
Okay.
So I know the name of that one.
Interesting. Learn something new all the time.
Is that the tree that's up beyond that phone pole or that power pole?
Oh, right here. It's on the right here.
Oh,
This
It's
one.
big pine. You see half of it dead on the right.
oh, I see.
That's the only part still alive. Those are poplars. And I find out because I have them in my yard. They only last about 5 years when they die. I have the same problem.
Okay, so this is the deepest. How deep was it?
Almost 20 feet.
20 feet. Okay. So
Last year I pulled in here, my oar was hitting right here. I was hitting mud. So it's cleared out a little bit. Not hitting anything. Yeah,
And your oar is how long?
well, I can only reach about 5 feet.
Okay. So we know
I pull it out.
at least 5 feet here.
Oh, oh, it's probably about 10. I think I touched it. So it's gotten deeper.
Okay.
The high flows did wash some of it out because it was mud, just all mud right here.
Okay.
So now that's good to see that, you know, some of the high water did wash some of the stuff out.
Well, that's good.
But it's pushed into some other places. So that's good. Well, I mean, I've sit here, I don't know how many salmon in a day. Holy man. Couldn't even count. Yeah, it's moved out quite a bit.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder with that big flow that they did from Upper Klamath Lake at the end of February, how much that also might have helped
It helped. I'm sure it helped a bunch.
push
truly.
some of this out.
And then having that high water for, you know, all those months,
Yeah.
it just kept pushing it down.
I think
too.
it was like, what, November? Then I know the end of December and January.
Well, January, February, March and April got really high. So that's where we got a lot of it washed out. And the steelhead just love it, sitting behind those beds.
So then maybe later I'll ask you for the location unless was it
From the fire.
Yeah, from the Klamathon fire. Just started videoing again. You can see some horses up there. When was that fire? What year was that?
Is it
17, 18? I can't
17?
remember.
I think it's 17.
Okay. Yeah, that was a pretty bad fire, and I know the reservoirs helped with that, and obviously being
Yeah.
able to dump into the Klamath River.
Yeah, okay, there's an osprey.
Yeah, there sure is. Let's see if I can zoom in on it on my phone.
so do you expect there's some fishing here?
I would say there's got to be some. I mean, if the water killed them, all the fish from dam down, you'd have the fish in the upper parts of the river. There were a lot of fish in the lakes, a lot of trout. So then what do? They close off all that area. We can't go up and fishing, which kind of stinks. I mean,
Yeah.
if there were some big rainbows in those lakes, they should be right there then. There, or they moved their way down through here. But if there's no feed here, they wouldn't be down here. Yeah, we're not seeing bugs.
Not really.
Not like it usually
A
is.
few
I mean,
here and there, but
I should go through my videos and some of the summertime here, you buzzing around you all the time.
I know I was kind of worried about mosquitoes, but I'm like, I haven't really seen much when I've been up here and they haven't bothered me. So I didn't think that might be an issue.
You may bump here a little bit.
Ooh, felt that one.
Gets really shallow. It gets any lower, you'll start getting a lot more.
Oh, really?
Level now is not bad, but it's shallow. This is about normal level from all summer long through the fall.
Okay.
So we get our first, then the 1st of September, they bump it up. From the dam, they always bumped up 100 and some CFS every year. That's to help us bring the salmon in supposedly. So I think it was the 1st of September, they bump it 100. You know, October, November, they bump it. And that moves the fish in, supposed to help them.
And for you, of those that are tuning in, this is kind of like the normal CFS, that it would be about, like I said, we're at 993 today, but it's like 900.
A pair of pilots come on it. So it's called aviator.
What kind of boat is it?
It's just a dory. We call it a double-ended dory. I mean, when it first came out, well, how about the store, Hornbrook store, the Chevron store? Of course, they get a lot of business from the freeway.
Right.
But in the summertime, the people that stayed on the lake and the rafters, that's something else that, like Stanley put in his post the other day. He was at the boat ramp on the 4th of July. Well, normally you'd have 100 rafts on here on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Just floating down the river, just having fun. And they go back and do it again, And just there'd be hundreds of them out here. And
Right.
You didn't see any.
No. And I mean, I just know that also impacts Scott, or like some of the other fishing guides that I talk to, because I know you guys bring a lot of business to this area. And I know it's always been beneficial for Wairika because they get hotels there,
Yeah.
they buy their food there. And, one of the other fishing guides I was talking to said like he was bringing in like $2,000 a day to just the city of Wairika from his little groups.
I had some great big groups. We'd have 17, 18 people, and they'd stay in Wairika. They'd eat in Wairika, they'd stop at the Chevron store and get their beer and stuff like that.
Whatever.
Yeah, you're not seeing that now. I mean, we'd be out here, and like the main part of the salmon season, there'd be at least, a dozen to 15 boats every day on the river. Guide-wise, that there was probably every single day, there was about 6 or 7 of us that were out here every single day. And that's 2 to 4 people in boats. So yeah, it adds up to be quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that poor Chevron store, people stayed at the lake. You're not seeing them anymore. There's no lakes, so you don't have that business there where everyone's water skiing. There were tons of people came down from Medford and Ashland and stayed right on Iron Gate and skied out there all the time.
Yeah. When I just look, I know like right now I don't know what there is for this river. We see a lot of the rafting companies coming in, which I know they come from like Ashland and Klamath Falls, but I just wonder how many of them are staying here locally in Wairika. I think most of them come from Ashland
Maybe
and
the
Klamath.
clients might. I don't know. I know that most of them are in Oregon. A lot of that rafting companies are from down south.
Right.
We never had a big company. We should have done it years ago. But we always tried to find other places. Like myself, I went to Alaska in the summertime. Instead of staying here and rafting and stuff, I went to Alaska so I could make money.
Right.
Should have gone into the rafting. It would have been smart. But,
Yeah.
we did a few rafting trips, and we just thought we'd camp, and we'd take people and we'd sturgeon fish in the summertime.
Yeah. So I just kind of wonder like the economical aspect of this, like what's the negative impact going to be for like Wairika? And like you said, Hornbrook, the little gas station. I mean, they might get a couple people, but
I don't know if you can measure it or not, but I'm sure they would. I'm sure that's a flux. It had to be.
yeah. I guess we'll know for certain within the next few years.
My income went down for about $50,000.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, yeah, I know a lot of the fishing guides in this area, it's hit them pretty hard and they don't have a business right now.
I really don't either. So it's tough, Real estate stinks.
Yeah.
It's a living, but I'd rather be out here in the boat.
Yeah. Well, and I know just talking to some people that are up here, I know that they're taking a hit on their properties and
Oh yeah, the property value's gone down. Look at all. Did you notice when you're driving on Copco, all the for sale signs? Mm-hmm. The people are selling them. They're not getting the best prices. People who are buying are getting some good prices.
Right.
I mean, that's who's making out is the buyers.
Yeah. No, I know. We were talking to somebody yesterday and he said that the houses around him were selling for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And I saw that there's I think up in Copco down by the end of Patricia, I think there was even a foreclosed house that was up
yeah,
there.
There could be, yeah. This is the R Ranch hole. Of course, the R Ranch starts right here. The lodge right here.
Okay. Yeah, I guess this would be the beginning of it.
Yeah, it's up around the corner. There's the main lodge. And
Okay.
The campground starts here and goes for about a mile.
What do you know about all this foam, like that big chunk of foam there?
You know what I used to call it for years and years? Fish sweat.
Fish sweat.
They call it fish sweat, and people loved it. But anyway, it's a mixture of there's chemicals from the upper river. We've always had it. I mean, it's always been in here. I'm surprised with the lakes gone, that it's still here. So it's coming from the upper river. I don't know there used to be mills up there or what it is. I used to think it was the algae that would die and then kind of concentrate and flow out there like that. But I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's always been here though.
Wasn't Rex saying that it
Oh.
comes maybe from the naturally occurring phosphorus up
It
there
could
in
be,
the
yeah.
river?
I mean, Rex would know more than I would.
I think he did talk about that yesterday about the foam.
Yeah. It's
There's a
always been-
dragonfly underneath.
I know.
Yeah.
I just saw that dragonfly out there.
I have a little friend with me.
That's good to see. But normally you'd have them landing all over along the boat. And,
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few dragonflies, but not like a ton.
no, there's.
What about the sturgeon? Can you talk about sturgeon?
Yeah. No. The sturgeon, they're andronymous fish too, which means they go to the ocean and come back. So they would go out to the ocean. I'm not sure how far they went out or what they did, but they always come back in the spring and summertime into the river to spawn. So they'd come up the river to spawn. They couldn't make it above Ishipishi Falls though. They were too big to make it above the falls.
So how many miles, to give
So that-
context to that, how many miles down the river from
Yeah, that's
Iron Gate is that?
oh probably around 100.
100 miles below Iron Gate?
I would say so because
Yeah,
it's
Ishipishi probably about 100 because then you got about maybe 80 miles to go there to the ocean. So,
Yeah.
it's probably right about 100, I would think. That's Wichipec, that area right there.
Okay.
That's right where basically right where the Salmon River comes in.
Oh, okay. So what do you know about them now or what's happened to them?
Well, what happened? We actually guided with them for a long time. They used to have white and green, two different salmon in the river here, and we'd go down there. You catch one a day, or one a year actually per person was the limit on the fish. So we'd take clients down there, and we'd take one for every client. After years, the Indians gill netted too much, and they killed the fish. So they killed the sturgeon off a lot, and so they cut this. We couldn't fish for them anymore because the numbers were way down.
Oh. When did you have to stop sturgeon fishing?
Oh shoot, it's been over 30 years ago.
Oh. Who's are you checking in on? Like, have you been counting them and you know what they're doing?
8-pound
my
hole.
dad-
Okay.
My dad landed an 8-pound rainbow out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
8-pound rainbow.
8-pound rainbow?
Yeah.
See, there's a little dove over there.
Trying to picture.
They're big thick ones. I mean, they're just big. And then the hatchery. Now they can't do it 100%. They can't do it 100% because it's so labor intensive. I mean, they mark maybe 20 if they're lucky. You know, if they were smart, they would have asked for a volunteer. Bunch of guys would help them. You know, so
What causes rapids like this?
just there's a reef right here in rocks. A big reef right here.
Yeah, you can see the
You just gotta go over the rock for that.
Yeah. You kind of read it. You learn to read how the water turns, how the waves act, curling wave or just a round wave, blunt, shallow, curling. Shallow water here. Salmon just sit in here. You come by here and they just be splashing all over the place. As you can see their backs.
I can see a little bit of pebble.
See, it's still okay. That one's not bad. It's not sand filled. I can see the rock. It's still okay. Which is good. I hope it's that way. I think that high water did help. I mean, I can see it's helped. The last year that I was on it, a lot of this was the mud.
Was it?
Yeah. So that high water did help.
Well, that's good.
I mean, but see, every time we get high water again, what's it going to do? It's
Don't
going to bring
know.
that mud back in again. It's going to be washing mud out of that for years and years.
Moving in and out.
Yeah. Every time it rains, we're going to see it muddy up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because, like, even going up and seeing the current work that they're doing up at Camp Creek and Jenny Creek, they're basically moving sediment from the creek beds up above on that hillside right there, still in the footprint. So I always question, okay, so when it rains, all of that sediment's just going to wash right back down
It's
into
going
the
to wash right
creek.
back down in there, yeah.
Crazy. Why did we get it out?
So that's, if they do remove any more dams, they better think about removing everything first.
Right.
Because that's just, what it did to this river is, it just proves what happens.
Well, and I think, wasn't that in the original plan? They were supposed to remove a lot of that
Yeah,
sediment,
I
and they
think
never did.
They never, well, I
They
think they got it,
tried.
it's too cost, was not cost effective. Because I was wondering about that too. I said, I mean, wouldn't that be good sediment to have? But then I found out there's so much toxins in it, it
Right.
would not be good to grow with something.
Well, and I think they had contemplated like bringing in a company that could filter all that high, heavy, toxic sediment, all those high, heavy metals out. But
Oh, cost, still, yeah. But it's so much cheaper just to build, ladders. Let
Right.
the fish get by.
well, and I know I've been told that there was an alternative around, and I'm not sure if you were aware of it. that they could actually go up Bogus Creek, and I can't remember what the other creek was, and then it would cut across to another creek and it would come into Copco. And I was told that they presented that. They presented like, because obviously the fish go up Bogus Creek, and
obviously, yeah,
they-
but then you come in, it's the mountains. And then
right,
you
and I
go over.
can't remember if it's Cold Creek. I'd have to look at the map, but there's like one little small section. They figured they might just have to build like, I think, like a little diversion ditch to get from the last creek to the other creek that went down into Copco.
Okay, right where the road is, probably that's the lowest point, right there where the road comes into Copco.
Could be, yeah.
Could be right there.
I think
because
it came
the
in
creeks come
Mallard
right to
Cove.
there.
Yeah, I can't. I'd have to look at the map to remember which creeks, but they had that all. Yeah, I saw that. But I do know that I looked at the map the other day, and they were showing me like they had 3 or 4 different alternatives instead of taking out the dams, and all those ideas were shot down.
Yeah, for what it costs and everything, it'd be cheaper to build some ladders.
Yeah, I'm
You
like,
know,
I don't know.
if it didn't work, then take the dams out.
Right.
If this was all for the fish, then you do that first.
Yeah, but fish ladders are already proven for the fish.
Yeah.
You have to remember, it's a waste of time to try to please these people that are trying to save the fish, because they're only using that as an excuse to do what they've got in their mind that they think needs to happen, which is remove the dams.
Yeah.
That's what I keep coming back to. I can't figure out the why. Why did they actually decide to do it? If it wasn't actually for the benefit of the fish. And I don't know if it's just.
And just so for those of you that are tuning in, we're kind of at the bottom of the R Ranch. Yeah, I can hear that. And you said it was made out of an old car body?
Yeah, you'll see the car body,
Interesting.
the frame of it. Well, I bet they're cleaning for that. I'm talking to my sister, and we have a pump set up there for the irrigation too.
Oh shoot. I guess I wasn't recording that part. We are currently below the R Ranch.
This particular spot right here, the bugs get so, because the trees are so close and so high up here, the bugs stick right through here.
Huh.
You'd almost be catching your mouth, spitting bugs, and all sorts of little black flies,
Yeah.
off and stuff like that. There'd be a bunch of caddis in here.
Yeah, you definitely don't see the bugs at all, like you're explaining.
I mean, this is really surprising. Well, actually, it's not surprising, but it's sad.
Yeah. So we're just past that little walking bridge that's kind of fallen. It's kind of a nice, beautiful day to be on the river. It's not too hot yet.
Now, the property up here on the right, just back there ways, was one of my grandfather's.
Okay.
That had the pigeons.
Wow.
All up on the hillside. All these houses were subdivided off. Right here, there used to be a water wheel.
Okay. Oh, where that,
Original people who built the big house, our lodge.
where the concrete slab thing is?
They used to have a water wheel on the other side that would reel with water and pump water out.
Huh.
Right, we got big houses. It's sold 3 times now. The guy that owns it now, Ken, it's a good guy. He calls me all the time. We can talk.
So this is the
Right there.
Kutsky hole.
We used to have a boat ramp right here. It's all overgrown now. This house back up in here. It used to be called the White House. I lived there with my parents when I was a baby. The house is still up there. They added on to and built to it.
It is.
And let's sneak around the island here and go close. It's gonna be a little bumpy, but still get there. I get cell service. I tell my sister. A lot of fish right here too. 2 reefs. There's a reef right here. There's a reef back up there. You can let it into the fish sitting right behind it. It's about 10, 12 feet deep right in there.
Huh.
Made a great. There's fish that sit here, and then down this flat down here below us here, they would spawn there. It was a great spawning spot. I mean, there would be a lot of fish spawning in there. And then the next spot behind the island down below it would be a great steelhead spot because the steelhead would sit down there and the salmon are spawning up here and picking up all those eggs.
Huh.
And so I'd go down there and catch 6, 7 steelhead.
Oh yeah, you can definitely see the bottom here. Hit that one. Oh yeah.
Just the color of the water, this brownish color. Usually it's kind of a greenish color. You can't see those rocks.
Yeah,
The
no.
bottom's only a foot down there, but you can't actually see it.
No. I can see them just like right here up on the top. Just the very top of them.
Yeah, this is the island my grandfather built the garden on. It's right here.
Oh wow. Huh. I'm assuming he just walked across and
Yeah, you just walk across the street. I
picked
just
his
remember
garden?
Spot here, there's tons, you know, catching crawdads all the way through here, having crawdad feeds.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, you can just barely see the top of that one.
That's kind of the cleanest I've seen the island along the edge here. This should be blackberries just all overgrown clear to the river.
Those out, that's good. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
Let me show you some old pictures. It was built by one of the colleges. Roosevelt stayed here.
Oh, really? Roosevelt. Huh. I don't know if you guys heard that, but he was just saying that Roosevelt stayed here.
That one is the restaurant.
Yeah, you really can't see the rocks. Not until you hit them.
You gotta read these waves. It tells you how deep the rocks are.
I can tell there's one right here.
Right there. There's one on the right when they hit right there.
Yep. Yeah, you really can't see the bottom like you used to.
Any lower are might be a little bit patchy.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, you see the house is right here on top of the hill right there?
Yeah.
That's my neighbor.
Okay.
My house is down just below there. Just down below there, my house. It's a mobile. Got a big deck on the side that's up back here. guy that built that walking bridge there in Houston.
Yeah.
That's how he got into his house, that road that's right there.
Okay.
So he's got to come all the way back around down here.
Is that his house up there?
No, his house is still up around the corner, higher up there. That's a different one now. They built that one about 10 years ago. Actually, when that Hornbook fire was burning, they
Yeah.
were having a wedding there.
Oh, really?
My wife and my neighbors were up here by the flag up there watching the fire because it came right, burned right here. So they evacuated my wife. My neighbors didn't leave, but my wife did. They have a wedding going there, and they could hear him going up there. Come on, guys, we got to hurry, get this along. We got to get this along. We got to get out of here.
Oh gosh.
Yep, let's get it going. And then my wife's calling me, and I'm in Alaska. So what do I do? What do I do? I can't fly out. I can't get a flight. So, days from now, away. All the properties around here was the Klamath Country Estates. And it's an HOA, so you have the right. This is a campground.
Definitely lots of vultures up here.
A lot there.
Oh, so even you guys were in the HOA?
Yeah, I'm in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no problem. I like it because I like the campground. I have clients that stay here.
Yeah, okay.
If you remember, you could have people stay there.
Yeah, very cool.
About 30 campsites. They have power and water, no sewer, but they do have a dump place.
I can see that obviously the tops of rocks here.
Yeah, I used to live over there when I was growing up, and my trap line was right here.
Okay.
I'd start up the ridge up here above there, and I'd set traps all along the edge of this other side. So you catch, some muskrat, mink. We were talking about naming places. There's one up here called Bed Springs. But you see the rock over here in the water, just kind of at 11 o'clock, the big rock is pointed up,
Yep.
right into the river there. It's called Nellie's Nipple. And I have no idea why. I think it's my grandfather, but something might have happened there.
That's funny.
First spot, the water goes so fast through shallow here, you can't pull over there. Once you got the boots on, you jump out. Now it's really sand.
Yeah, the mountains are definitely still pretty barren from the Klamathon fire. See some of the pebbles over there. And then,
It's right enough. That looks like a bald eagle down there on the beach.
oh, it almost does. Oh, it sure is. That's down by Rex's place.
Yeah, that's Rex's place right there, that little beach.
So yeah, so this is where we were yesterday. Oh, sorry.
And he got away with building that weir. That metal weir. Where he put the water wheel in.
So we're coming up here. We're,
Oh wow, look at there. Yeah.
It's like,
huh?
at least the rocks are exposed. That looks like a row of rocks.
Yeah, we're up above the Klamathon bridge. We're just coming around the corner to that. We can definitely see these rocks right here.
Yeah, that island extended all the way down.
Yeah, you can see the rock.
Right through there, right there on the edge there.
Huh. Well, I guess now you know not to go that way next time.
I'm afraid for myself. I figured.
I
I
know.
was just there. I tried to get stuck and got out.
Has that ever happened to you?
Hmm?
Has that ever happened to
Oh
you?
yeah, a lot. Not as much on this river as much like on the Smith River. There's a check over here. They drop down and start fishing steelhead there.
Where did you go in Alaska?
I fished on the Kenai River.
Were you drift boating there? Or?
I started as a drift boat.
We're getting closer to the Klamathon Bridge. Kind of get down here close to the water.
And that's it. We were talking about the moss. There used to be a big grass bed every summer here, just all across the river here. Big long pieces of that grass that was really long. Swirled in there, kind of yellowish green. You could put your oar down right here, it would just be sticking. So just solid rock, no moss.
Huh.
All real thick in there. So you can see the remnants of Klamathon, the town of Klamath.
So it was over here,
Over
right?
here on the left, that we used to float logs down from the upper river.
Right.
And they used to catch them here.
Okay.
And you see these little tiny islands down here. They're man-made.
Oh, okay. So like this one, I was always
Yeah.
wondered about these.
There's 3 or 4 of them right in here. Down
Okay.
here. This one isn't here, the gravel bed, but it's the ones down in the bottom down there.
Okay. No, I've always read about them and I was trying to figure out where they were in here because part of the old bridge or trestle's still down here on this side, right?
Yeah, that's the one they took out when they built this bridge here. I think there was even another bridge because it's a lot older.
Okay.
Back in the early 1900s.
And so where was the Klamathon fish wrecks from here? That they had in the late
They're
1800s?
They're down below. They're just above the road track.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I was kind of wondering if that's where they were. I just wasn't sure.
Still there, yeah. That's the original one before they put the dams in. The Celtic spit salmon coming up.
Right.
It's real shallow. Like if you see the salmon down. It's all the counting rats. There's a picture in that book I was telling you about. You know, it shows a picture from up there. From the 1900s. It shows the whole town.
And that would be the bridge that I normally video from.
They show all these islands. They actually had the river was down. It was down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were floating logs out of here from way up the river, probably 2 miles above us.
And I heard that that chute remnant is still there, that you can still
Yeah.
see that chute that comes down the mountainside. And I can remember, like, even out in here, you used to be able to see the rocky ground.
I still bring my dogs right here for swimming all the time because it's not but a couple miles from the house.
Yeah. And we have landed.
So I just want to say thank you to Al for bringing us down the Klamath River today.
Yeah, you bet.
We really appreciate your time today.
Really fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the information.